All right. So the Republican element of Britain, the bridiots, who are like the Republicans of America, came together in force to vote against their own interests and well-being. Just like Donald Drumpf here in America, a fraudster and huckster, just like Nigel Farage in Britain.
Mr. Farage has the whole morning talked about salaries and biggest waste of money. Well, you know, colleagues, what I think is the biggest waste of money in the European Union of today, there's a salary we are paying to Mr. Farage. That is the biggest waste of money. Oh no, Mr. Farage, let's be honest about it. You are a member of the Fishery Committee, for example, and you're never there. Never. In 2011, no attendance. In 2012, no attendance. It's fantastic what you're doing. You're coming here saying it's a scandal, the salaries that are being paid, and you pay yourself a salary without doing any labor in your own committee. That's the reality of the European Union today. You want to fix?
They took the bait from a huckster. They thought Nigel was telling them the truth, that he was going to put 350 million pounds of their money into the National Health Service so that they would get the care that they feel they're being deprived because of contrived themes by fraudster and huckster Nigel Farage, who literally lied to Britain and influenced them to vote against their own well-being.
The £350 million a week we send to the EU, which we will no longer send to the EU, can you guarantee that's going to go to the NHS?
No, I can't, and I would never have made that claim. That was one of the mistakes I think that the Leave campaign made.
Hang on a moment, that was one of your adverts.
Well, it wasn't one of my adverts, I can assure you.
Well, that was one of the Leave campaign's adverts. That money was going to go to the NHS.
And I think they made a mistake.
That's why many people have voted.
They made a mistake in doing that. But what I can tell you is we have a nice
You're
featherbed.
saying after 17 million people have voted for Leave,
yep.
based, I don't know how many people voted on the basis of that advert, but that was a huge part of the propaganda. You're now saying that's a mistake.
Nigel had convinced them to view all their neighbors unfavorably and as a threat, as enemies, as poor trade partners, thinking he could somehow cook up some unilateral way to apply power on everyone, apply pressure using his power. Nigel Farage, a huckster and fraudster, sold the same National Socialism that Hitler and Donald Drumpf are selling. They want to be isolationists, building walls, threatening people, viewing their neighbors as the enemy, viewing long-time 43-year-old trade partners as a threat or an inconvenience or whatever. But Nigel made promises that he certainly can't keep and has now admitted he can't keep. There will be no money for the National Health Service for all the bridiots who thought that's what his goal. His goal was never you. Donald Trump's goal is not you if you're an American. Donald Trump's goal is Donald Trump. He's a fraudster benefiting himself the same way Nigel Farage tried to benefit himself. It's all about them. They're egomaniacal, spotlight-hoarding imbeciles. Farage sold a nationalistic idea that Britain is Britain. It's actually one planet and we're all the same, for your information, all you bridiots. It's fine to be proud of where you live. It's fine to like your couch. It's fine to like your watch. But everyone around you is just like you. You're your own form of racist, bigot. That's what Nigel Farage is, a racist, a bigot. And he led the bridiots down a hole where they're now trapped as isolationists from the rest of the world, an international community they benefited from. When there's unity and harmony, everyone benefits. Isolationists are going to get what they deserve for making themselves isolationists. This is going to destabilize their stock market, the international market, cause concerns with the rest of the European Union, the EU. It's going to cause concerns for their bank, which is why the Bank of England made such enormous preparation for this kind of a disaster. And it is a disaster. The poor people who rose up, as they thought, against the stupid, greedy people in government didn't listen to those actually quite brilliant people in government. As dry and pompous, as arrogant as they may seem, they actually know what they're talking about. You don't. Bridiots don't know anything about logic or economics, or they would have voted to stay. They voted to leave and isolate themselves and make the prices of everything around them that they will be purchasing go up. Their own financial holdings, portfolios, life savings go down. The value of their currency go down. It was a horrendous mistake. They will pay the price, they will isolate themselves, and they will have problems moving forward. Let's see how they change from here if the Bridiots tune in or tune out. It's going to be much like America coming up. We have a choice between a seasoned, experienced politician who has world-class experience, or a raging buffoon like Nigel Farage, who destabilized his own economy, destroyed the value of his own currency, and caused a nightmare ripple due to an ill-conceived plan and a vote that was forced on people too stupid to even consider the possibilities, result, outcome, and peripheral problems. It's going to be extensive. The Bridiots just killed themselves. It's poor people who just voted to make themselves poorer. If that isn't the height of idiocy, what is? Good job, Brits. Not the people who voted for staying, of course. You knew what you were talking about. Sadly, the others didn't.
Can you guarantee that's going to go to the NHS?
No, I can't.